Welcome, everybody, to another week of Incubator Weekly. This time we are not, we've got Mikhail on, but not as representative of an incubator DAO, or DFO, but rather, hang on, forgot to pause the other side there. All right, so Mikhail, welcome to the show again, this time as pshenmic.dev DFO. So you've got some updates for us today, and we're going to talk a little bit about the JavaScript SDK as well, and some issues that you've been seeing with that as you've been using it. So yeah, welcome.
Yeah, hey guys. So I have quite updates, really. We done really a lot of stuff, though. There was some budget shorts, and we finally got our proposal approved. And yeah, thank you everybody who was like who was supporting it and voting. So yeah. So basically, there were a lot of updates inside the Platform Explorer. We fixed the Dash Insight. There was some stuff with the Masternode hard fork implementation. It was just missing. So we had to make some few more changes and release all of the versions. So yeah, it's now should work as expected. And we also added, let me quickly show you. Can you please turn on the screen share? I'll just.
Yep.
So yeah, we added a little UI fix. So basically, there are special transactions in the inside that that's just not implemented in the dashcore UI, in the inside UI, sorry. And we did so previously it was if we open it from the production, yeah, we will see that it is usually just blank and showing no transactions. Let me quickly search. There
So
should be
this is,
four.
you're looking at testnet right now inside.
Yeah, you see unparsed addresses and stuff like that.
Yep.
So those are special transactions. There are few of them. Like the first one is most known as quorum signing transactions that happens. I don't know, some regularly in the blockchain. And during the last V22 or 21 update, there was they introduced a new special transaction that called Masternode hard fork, and it wasn't implemented inside UI, and it was basically breaking the dashboard node, not the dashboard that the main team is working on, but the thing inside the inside
Inside
was breaking. So anyway,
version of Node.
yeah. So yeah, the new special transaction was introduced, and on the Explorer, it's shown like just like a blank.
Yep.
So we fixed the things, and we made this little small change, so it will show which exactly the special transaction was just like initiated. And we actually we actually thought that we can actually expand it with some additional information. Like for example, if it's a quorum transaction, then we can show which quorum signed it, and which index and stuff like that. Maybe later we can extend it, but we just made it like it's as simple as possible for right now.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit more about these types of transactions? I know it says masternode hard fork. Are these all DIP2 type transactions, a special type of the DIP?
No, I think that's something. I think that's something that was introduced together with the platform stuff. I don't know. I'm not sure how exactly it's working, but I guess that there are some sort of some percentage of the master nodes should be like should accept the fork before it happens. And
Okay.
I don't know like the details, but
Can
I guess
you
it's like
click
this.
I guess that's just a screenshot that you're showing right there. But can you go back into, so do you know what block this is from, or can you copy and paste that into an
I'm not sure. This is the screenshot from the developer. So
One thing I was curious about, if you could go to your last tab, if you could go to the last tab on your
yeah,
page there, the very, yeah, that one on the all the way to the right.
you mean like this transaction?
Yeah, that works right there. So can you expand, click on the plus button and expand that to see?
No, it's not expanded.
It doesn't expand. Okay.
It's actually returning an empty array of addresses, and that makes sense because there are no really like
There are no inputs and no outputs to this
yeah
transaction.
there
So
are no
the data is it in an op return field, or
There are no data to show. Like there are special data that we can show. We can show which quorum signed this transaction, stuff like that. There are some hashes and there are some additional data, but it's not just regular transactions. There are no inputs and outputs. So we gotta work on this.
okay.
Or just make a new explorer.
Yeah. So the important thing though is that the browser, the UI, the API are not crashing anymore, and so we can always find
We managed to create a workflow. Like our developer, like he just got into this all of this stuff, like how it's working, so he can make changes, so we can sort out problems or make even some additional things if we have to. So yeah, it's pretty great.
Okay. Now, one just last thing before we leave this topic, if you could copy the transaction
This one?
from the URL, or that works too, and then open a new tab in blockchair.com, and then go to that transaction. And I'm just curious to see, because I know that they have DIP2 transactions implemented.
Oh,
This is testnet, right? So they might not have testnet. I'm just curious if there's anything that is working on Blockchair as well, because they are a partner of ours that has explicitly tried to support DIP2 transactions. Right now, you're just looking for one of those special type of transactions that were showing empty data. And if we don't find one, that's okay.
We will check it later. Yeah, but I guess they're not showing it because
okay,
it's kind
you
of
could just copy that transaction ID from the URL and put it in the Blockchairs. Oh no, this is testnet.
This is testnet. Yeah.
Okay, so moving on then, what other things have you been working on and wanted to share?
Actually, the most of the work was around Platform Explorer, but it's not just like making the Platform Explorer requires searching like get like deep into the platform protocol, and there are a lot of things missing always, and there are like so we were sampling in a lot of issues, and we actually helped the main team. We made several platform pull requests, so there was a missing parameter in the epoch. So let me start with the backend part. I'll just show you quickly what we have on Platform Explorer now and what we plan to do. I will show the backend, front end, and designs. Yeah. So 1 second. Yeah. So when the platform release happened, we rushed to do some very important things. Like previously, we had the balances not really matching what network has because it was calculating it from its own database. So we moved strictly like we moved straight to the DAPI interface, to the gRPC interface to read the data about things like identities, balances, and other things. So it's very important change because now we have accurate data for mainnet, and people actually can look the platform balances, like when we go into the validators. All right, we can see an identity and we can see the credits. So it's actually what the network actually the latest state of the balances. Previously it was like not kind of accurate. Yeah, we also removed case sensitivity for hash. Someone from the community noticed that when you're searching hash in the uppercase or lowercase, so sometimes it's not working, not working right. Yeah, the epoch. We really worked on this one, particularly this one. So the third thing that we was running into is the epoch index in the JS-SDK in the DAPI client. It was missing the parameter, so we couldn't just get the latest epoch. However, it was in the DAPI, but there were issues. So when the platform was released, there were no like info about the epoch, and we couldn't get it as fast as possible because there were missing support in the JS SDK.
Not support from platform, but just the JS SDK itself was
Yeah,
not able to get
yeah,
it. Can you back up
yes,
just a little bit for folks and explain what an epic is and why it's important on the platform chain?
yeah. So the epoch is like the um, how to explain, like the epoch is where transactions are happening and the validators uh, signing all of the transactions, all of the blocks. I mean, sorry, when they when the fees are collected into some pool, and then after epoch changes, all the rewards gets distributed between master nodes. And yeah,
Okay, so it's a time frame that
yeah, exactly.
is you're seeing right here on your Explorer that there are 2 days left in this time frame, and it looks
Hmm.
like are they from my memory? I think is it 9 days long or what? How is it
Yeah,
defined?
it's
There are
not
40 or is it 40 epics per year? Something like
um it's 9.125, so it's
Yeah, it's
nearly 9.
365 days per year divided by 40, which
Hmm.
is 9.125. And my understanding is instead of being defined by blocks, it's actually defined literally by clock time. And the clock time is a little bit like in proof of work systems, we don't go by clock time. And there's some subtle reasons why. But my understanding of how platform nodes work is that each platform node will broadcast the time stamp that its server is using. And if somebody tries to say, monkey with the actual timestamp and say, yeah, it's actually a week before now, or it's a week later than now, then the other nodes on the network, who we're assuming the majority of those are honest, they'll say, no, that's not actually the real time. And then they'll just discard that data. Is that how is that your understanding? So that's how we can define these literally by clock time?
um yeah, it's kind of complicated how the epochs works, but yeah, it's like just in details. It's kind of I think it's based on the block that is starting. Then we have like some time frame. And yeah, so basically this this field is like approximate. And when the epoch change should happen, it's not exactly the time, but it's just approximate. I don't know if anyone just have the exact time of epoch change. So
Okay.
yeah. Anyway, yeah, we worked through this. We worked through this. Um, Um, we also so there was a lot of things. We also did total collected fees. I think we can see that here. Yeah. So there is a new front end improvements on this page as well. So we did the fees collected. Now it shows the information collected fees by the epoch. So
Okay, that's the fees in Epic 3.
yeah, should
Okay.
be.
So that number will presumably restart when in 2 days that will be back down to 0.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What about design? We really worked through design really a lot. We worked really great. So we managed to really improve the specific validator page. This is basically the best page that we have, I think, right now. Let me show you a Figma. So
This is not yet live, or is
it's
it?
not, isn't it?
I don't know, but if
Since
it is, then it would probably be better to look at the actual website.
it's not coded yet. It's a mock-up.
Okay.
It's still a mock-up.
So this is just the design so far then.
Yeah. Let me just close it. I can't. Okay. So anyway, we worked through this page because it's very useful page on the platforms right now, and a lot of people using it. Right now we have pretty simple, just like the tables
Mhm.
uh, for things like validators and identities. So it's not really informative, very simple, and it's actually the same for the each on the platform entities. For the identity, for data contracts, we have pretty simple pages that doesn't show really much data. So
Mhm.
we started from the validators, then we want to hop on the identities, and then finish with the data contracts. Since it's the most used page right now, we started with it, and yeah, this is what we have so far. When we open it, we can see the protex hash, we can see the balance right away, where it's when it was created, and the identity address. You can click on it, and you will be redirected to this identity. So it's
Now, is that a balance? Is that a balance that is due to them, or that's the balance that actually they have in credits? In other
uh,
words,
its current balance. Its current balance, which identity has.
current balance, which identity has. So that would not include, let's say this validator had.
It's actually a good question. I think we can also add the balance, like we have rewards with this epoch, which should show the amount of credits you will earn from the proposed blocks during this epoch. So yeah, we can move it into this part also, like as well.
Yeah, and I noticed that you
Right away.
also have what presumably a US dollar amount
Mm-hmm.
equivalent. I would
Yeah.
guess that
Yeah,
that's
we already implemented the rate API. So the front end guy, the Alexei, already working on it. So we should see it very soon. Everywhere on the website will be a credits, there will be a dash equivalent, and also the USD one.
okay.
We also acquire it from the two sources. From the I don't remember first, but second is KuCoin. So in case one of the of the host is down or is returning some error, we will get the information from the second one.
Mhm.
So just fallback. Yeah. So what's also important here, I wanted to show the ports that Masternode has, and the indicator which will show the status. So in case you just set up your node, or for example, if you have some issues with your DAPI, it will be shown on the website. So I plan to add we plan to add a special API which will call the TCP request to this node, and it will check like if the node is doing well and all responses are as expected. So
Okay.
it will be some kind of health check for your node.
Now, I know that mnowatch.org has implemented such a feature on their site.
Yeah.
Are you depending on their site, or are
No,
you doing it
no.
independently? Are you doing it the same way that they do it? How does it compare?
Yeah, we will implement it on our site, and we will have support of IPv6.
Okay.
um, so yeah, the status. Yeah, this is like some more extended info about the validator. We can see the status right now. It can be either waiting for quorum or active.
Yep.
So it will. Previously, we had some, we had some issues with it, with showing this information. Not issues, like it was not showing correctly, active, non-active. So we managed to get away from it and make like active and waiting for quorum. We will see an epoch right now that is happening when the next epoch should start. Should start in the rewards that validator earn this epoch, and also all the time, like the total collected fees from the first from the from the creation of the node. We can also see the last proposed block and withdrawals counts and last withdrawal. I think this is very cool information, very useful information, because I think if you open the validator, you want to see if your last proposed, when you propose the last block, like you want to see if it happened recently or not. And you should also, like, you want to also see the withdrawals. If, for example, someone hack you and withdraw all of your funds, you will see it on this page. you know yeah. We also added some core stuff, so you can always check what the collateral of this address, who is the owner, voting address. You can copy a public key in case you want to do some checks. I don't know, more for developers. I think this maybe might be useful.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all buttons, which is in these boxes means it is a button, so you can just so you will be redirected to this. It will act as links. What about the chart? We thought about that, and we made a custom calendar that you can always switch, because we had like prefixed. We had prefixed. Right now we still have time frames, and you cannot like choose some custom periods, and this one is also not informative as it could be. So we decided to make a calendar. There are no design for this calendar yet, but we will do it soon. So we expect it, so when you click, the chart will be replaced with the calendar, so you can just click on the time frame that you want, and then it will be replaced with the chart again. So yeah, I think that it will be like very easy to use. So I think it will be a cool thing to have. So yeah, we can add several charts. We don't know what exactly useful to put here, but we thought that we can also show the people of rewards earn chart. I don't know if it's much in the proposed blocks. I think it shouldn't. But we can then see how much rewards they earn over the time, and so also the cool thing. And here's the tabs with maybe some some info that might be also useful, like transactions withdrawals, proposed blocks. We can also add something here as well. Yeah. uh that's all about the validator. Do you have something to add, Ryan? here.
Okay, so that's the validator page. One question that comes to mind right now is, so I know that the one of the major use cases for the site right now is the actual validator node operators. They're looking at it to make sure that these things are, that their node is properly working and things like that. And that's a good thing to start with. But for anybody else, or even those node operators who want a feature that you don't have currently on your roadmap, how can they request a feature? So I'll give you an example of one. If you go to the live site, one thing that I've wanted to see on the main page, I think, is instead of a bunch of hexadecimal numbers for the contracts, I'd rather see the name of the contract. So that's just a simple example of a feature that I, as a community member, might
Mhm.
want. How do we go about telling you about that? I'm assuming you'd want people to put in some kind of a GitHub issue or something. Can you show us briefly how to
The
do that?
best, well, yeah, obviously the best place would be the issues, but you can also just post a message in Discord or Telegram. I will read it and we will think about that. So any way that you can, like any way that you want, like uh, yeah, we have issues here. You can, anybody can put a new issue and tell us what needs to be implemented, or some feature request. So I will review it. Yeah, or just in the Discord, like in the general, or I don't know, dev
Yeah,
talk
and then
dev
you
talk.
make an issue for it. Yeah.
Hmm.
So if people don't have a GitHub account, but that's not just for developers. It is for anybody who wants to, give feedback to any kind of software. Probably a good idea to get a GitHub account,
Hmm.
just so you can say, join a discussion or say, I'd like this feature.
Hmm.
Okay. So what other?
Also, yeah, there is one more thing that we are working right now. It's the next thing that we change in the design will be a specific transactions page. So we worked on this a little bit. So I think we made like a half of it, or so. Um, yeah. Um, the page is very important
Ah,
because when you
sponsored
yeah.
ads section. Ah, interesting.
So yeah, this is very important page because when you open up the specific transaction, you should be able to see all of the data that is there. And let's see, for example, a documents batch transaction. Right now we don't really have a lot of data. We have just some links, we have second hash, height, and stuff like that, gas used. It's good that they even have the status field, because yeah, so it's not really descriptive. Yeah, so we plan to change it and detail it as much as we can. We worked a lot through this. We had like several calls with our designer. He's doing really great job for us, like, and he really will to do more. So yeah. Uh, so basically, we divided it into two main parts. The first one is like the header of the transaction, which is some kind of similar. I think it's the same between all of the transaction types. There are like 6 transaction types, and one of the transaction types also have 6 transitions, which is documents batch. So we have like 12 different interfaces that we should draw.
Mhm.
Uh, so this one is header, and this one is just the details. In the identity create, we can see the asset log proof. We can see the funding address of this identity. So when you're creating your identity from the L1 wallet, right? There is a asset unlock. I think it's called asset unlock. Someone said about this recently.
That would make sense.
Yeah. So yeah, you can see the funding address. You can always just click on it, and you will be redirected to the Explorer, and you can check stuff about that too. We can see a public bytes. Oh, sorry, it's I think it's not the right. It's not the latest. I think it's not the latest thing about document creation. Sorry, just one more second. Look.
So it looks
No
like your designer's
problems.
been hard at work.
Yeah. He do a lot, really a lot, and he asked very small. I mean, you know what I mean. So no, I can find it. Should be there to do.
I am a little curious while you're looking. I am a little curious about the advertisement section. Do you have plans for that? Is that going to be some kind of
Yeah, you got me on that.
contract or?
Yeah. We just thought what to put into this. Like there was a lot of empty space in this page, uh, and yeah, we didn't know what to put, so we just put an advertisement. Probably a good idea. So some external developers, some third party DApp applications, dash DApp applications can make some advertisement on the Platform Explorer. So it's a good thing to have. I can find it. So yeah. Anyway, that's okay. So there will be everything. So there will be details of the public keys. It will show you the public keys, the type of the public keys. It will show you also the contract bounds. Ah, here it is. Here it is. I think this one is the most up to date. So yeah, I wanted to show that it also show you the keys and the contract bounds of the keys, because it's a very important feature. So basically, we can have some public keys only locked to the certain data contracts and even the certain data contract document types. What means is that we can have a public key that have only access to one specific data contract or one specific data contract and document type. For example, we can have a data contract of 3 different storages, but it only can have it can't do any other transactions too. It can make withdrawals and transfers, so it will all be shown on the Platform Explorer.
Okay.
Yeah. We also started the documents batch. This one this one I think is identical. Yeah, we also added a fee multiplier, which show you like amount of fee that you pay over the standard. Yeah. So let's get let's get to the documents batch. Documents batch, yeah, it shows you the owner of the documents batch of this particular and owner of the transactions. I don't know why there is multiple owners. So in the protocol, I can see the owner of the state transitions. I can owner of the documents batch. I don't know why it's duplicated, but things like this. So we just duplicated it here too. In case of document create, we can see a document type, a link to the data contract and identifier which was just created, the revision, identity nonce. I don't know how this will be used, but I think this is some kind of info that developer will be using and will be checking. On document replace, which is update of the document, we can see the timestamps of when the document was last updated, transferred, or stuff like that. And we obviously can see the data of this JSON, like which will be replaced or put into the platform. We can see a delete document transition. And the most interesting, I think, is the document transfer, which is not yet implemented in the WASM DPP, which is turned out. We didn't know about that, but we will talk about this a little bit later. And the document purchase and document update price. So document purchase means that you can buy a document from the identity, and this identity will receive the money that was set via the document update price method and transition. And yeah, that's basically a buy sell like operation, and this is a very interesting one, and I think it will be very, very, very used in the network. So we basically will be, I think, the first one who will be using it for our DFO. Yeah, it show you the buyer identity, the seller identity, yeah, and the price that was document was sold for.
Yeah. So I know you have some ideas, and I have some ideas about this document purchase idea, but can you give us and the viewers just a little bit of an idea of what does it mean to buy a document, and why could that be useful? Because at a very base level, buying a document, as far as I understand, basically just means you're buying the rights to ownership of that data, so that you can be the one that changes the data, for example. But there are other use cases, such as the one that you mentioned last time you were on, which is about a month ago, I think, where you would be buying the deliverable of a developer organization as a way to compensate them for the work that they've done. Do you want to talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah, let's have a quick chat about that. So yeah, the operation allow you to sell a document, which means that the balance will be transferred to the seller, and the buyer will receive a document. I think it was come in first place with the NFT support, as NFT support. So that basically, for people who can, like, they can own some sort of NFTs, that was is meant to be like in the first place. But I think people will use it for the different things. For example, we plan to use it to pay developers for tasks. They will be able to submit a claim document, uh, which contains a link to their done work, and also the amount of credits that they want for it. And me, as a different identity, I will buy out their documents for the amount that they put. So
And
that
all of
means
that
that, yeah, that means that they will receive, that means that they will receive the credits, and me, I will receive claims from them as a return. In return, yeah. So yeah, it's pretty cool feature, I think. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned that this is not a feature that is supported by the Dash SDK.
Yeah, let me get quick through the front end parts. I want to also show you what we was working on the front end. So yeah, there were not too much like pull requests, but there were like pretty big itself. Uh, first we reworked a little bit the status. We introduced the epoch. There was some data missing. It was shown previously as not available on the validators, I think, right here. We also reworked the validators page. So there were a lot of internal work, basically. So to make it so it also reflected on the other pages. Yeah, we updated the network selector. I believe, yeah, there were work when the platform was released. We also had to update it. What else? We also improved the mobile menu. The mobile menu wasn't great at all. So when you're looking at the mobile section, when you're viewing it on the mobile, sorry, you can see now a menu which works good, and yeah, we didn't have it. Yeah, right now we are working on the specific validator page, which was already done in the design. So Alexei already working on it. So we should see some working example. I think next week.
Do you have plans on that previous page? Do you have plans on the fees collected? I think that would be nice to show a dollar amount there as well. Do you have
Yeah. We will update it. I think that's pretty good idea. Yeah.
or
Next,
not, maybe not just dollars, but any if you are Australian dollars or Canadian dollars or euros, is there going to be a way to select your base currency, your fiat currency of choice?
we can add it. Yeah.
Okay.
Feel free to create an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will have everything what you need. Like,
I mean, I'm fine with dollars personally, but I know
yeah,
this is not an
yeah.
metric project.
Yeah. It's more like
Yeah,
for people.
international.
Yeah. So
So you wanted to
yeah,
also talk about the Dash JS SDK a little bit.
yeah,
We're
yeah. So we had quite hard work on it, like working with it, and like it's hard. It's hard to use, and it's not convenient to use. It's missing features. For example, we found out that the document transfer, document purchase, document set price is missing from the WASM DBP implementation. It
can
was
you
implemented.
before you jump into that, can you open a page to show people what we're talking about? Like maybe either the NPM site or the source code, or what exactly are you talking about? Because I know there are at least two SDKs.
I can show you through the. I
You're
should show
talking
you.
about the JavaScript SDK.
Yeah, I'm talking about all SDKs basically, except the Rust,
Yeah,
because only Rust work through
it's up at the top
through
there.
itself. Yeah, and yeah, basically, I can show you. It's missing. It's not there. We can have a document batch transaction, but we can see only three transitions, and we miss transitions. We miss transitions for document update price. We miss transitions from document purchase and document transfer. So that means that nobody can execute those transactions in the network, at least from the JS SDK, and I believe from the mobile too, in case they also use WASM DBP to make platform transactions. So that's the thing that we need to have, because it's really missing. Maybe I will be able to add those missing bindings, but it will take time. We'll have to look at it on the next on this week or next week. Yeah, we also thought about how to make those transactions without JS-SDK, because it also has different issues. For example, one of the things that bothering everybody is that it is an SPV client implementation, and it requires you to download a lot of data from the network before you can actually use it. Even if you want to just get a new address or get export some private keys, you still need to sync it all the way up in default conditions. So yeah, you can use valid lib separately from the Dash SDK, but nobody really does that. So everybody just uses Dash SDK, and people retrying, and that is not working good. It always fail request, like with some there are like Dash SPV error or stuff like that. I believe that it's Zapier returning some bad data, so that Dash SDK cannot clearly decode it. And yeah, it's not like it's not the best experience that developers can have with it, and
Yeah,
it's
I
really
wanted
blocking and stopping.
yeah, there was some chatter even just this morning about like, okay, how now the platform is literally released, platform is live on mainnet. So where are the developers? And the issue is, well, if people, most developers, most people building applications are wanting to use JavaScript. That is the language of the web. And
Yeah, for
most of
sure.
our infrastructure is written in Rust. And so the binding between the two is supposed to be uh,
I think
WebAssembly, which both the browser supports, but there are some issues with that. And so that's the issue that you're bringing up, is that we can't really have JavaScript developers
I
using
don't
the tool until we
actually I don't think that Rust is any good with it right now in the any much better state,
even Rust is
because
not right.
even Rust, because yeah, we thought about how can we solve it without the JS Dash SDK. The first thing that came up to us, we just get Rust and get some examples, but there are no examples in the platform. There are no documentation about how to make your transactions through the Rust code. All they have is platform TUI code, so you can just check the code, and they're using some. So basically, it took us like 11 hours to make a documents batch transaction. Yeah, there are
Using
no examples. There is just single example of the document query or data contract query. So this query just doesn't really involve any signing, any
Yeah, it's not a
more.
write transaction, it's a read
Yeah,
transaction. So the easiest type of transaction would be 11 hours. Are you saying to do that with Rust or the TUI or
I
what?
mean, the both SDKs is not in that condition that allows developer just quickly do this adapt. So even with Rust, JS Dash SDK, it's not, it's not yet there, and I hope that, yeah, people should. Oh, sorry, platform team should be working on it after just right after the draw. So I hope it will be improved as soon as possible, because it's really bothering developers. It's blocking their work, and also the testnet is always down. Recently, there was an issue with the certificates. Um, I needed some help from the platform team, but uh, they even couldn't help me because the testnet is down.
Yeah.
And yeah, uh,
Yeah, so
really frustrating.
there are some things that are very crucial to end developers who aren't, and 99.999% of developers aren't going to want to dig into the infrastructural side of things to try to figure it out themselves. So we really do need these SDKs, the software development kits, the libraries that your standard developer just imports into their code and can use easily. We're not there
Yeah,
yet.
but the good
I
note
don't know what
here
the plans are.
is yeah, but the good note here is that we actually work on this. So anyway, we will make all of these things. Either our side or DCG will implement it. So I think over the time, this is pretty much solvable. Uh, so yeah, we just uh, so uh, yeah.
Yeah, you're working on it. We're working on it as well. I mean, we put in some time to try to do an identity create transaction um, using
Yeah,
the raw bin code that the Rust code uses. So we've looked into this as well. It's not easy to do, but somebody's got to do it. And I think that yeah, taking a couple different approaches to this is helpful. I know we can't just completely wait on DCG to finish it because they have other priorities. But we also do need help from DCG to give us the information that we need, or just to make it easier to build your own tooling around the raw gRPC calls. So do you know what I saw some pull requests and some issues related to something about making all transactions with Saturday support, serialize, deserialize, the Rust part of it. Do you know anything about like, and I know that I saw them mentioning that they have some changes in mind to how they're going to be building the SDKs. Do you know anything about that you can help us out with? Because I know you have
What pull requests? Sorry, from the platform on repo.
Yeah,
What?
from platform. I mean, I would have to look it up again, but I just remember seeing some talk about like we're changing the way that we're doing the build process for the SDKs, and stay tuned kind of thing. So if you don't know anything specifically about that,
No,
right
I don't
on
know
hand, that's
about
fine.
this. No, yeah. So the Wasm DVP bundle is too big right now. Really, it's like really big.
Yeah, well, it's not even the
Yeah.
size. The size is an issue, but it's also just knowing what are the raw bytes that go across the network that we need. Anyway, we'll talk about this off
Yeah.
this show, because it's
Okay.
probably a little bit too in the weeds for the
Mhm.
audience here. But yeah, so anything else that you wanted to say about just your overall experience working with platform, the things that you're working on? I know that most of your work is going into the Platform Explorer. Is there anything else beyond or outside of the Platform Explorer that you're working on?
Yeah, I want to show
Any
you
updates?
the data contract that we made. DFO. Yeah. So I just merged the pull request for data contract, and this is somewhat a sample data contract that we will be using in our DFO to pay out people for tasks.
Okay.
Yeah. As I said in the previous shows, we will have a data contract which will be served as a storage for all of the projects, all of the tasks, and all of the people's claims for their work. Yeah, so it will be
Yeah,
fully transparent.
this
And
is essentially the same process that Incubator has, that we use our Trello page and our Google Doc to make tasks and claim tasks and be paid for tasks. And you're bringing this to platform. We talked about this a little bit in the last time.
So how it works? So we have three different storages. We have three document types. The first one is project, which will hold a set of documents about our projects. We have tasks, which will have a fields for like title, description, URL, and stuff like that. And we also have the claim document that developer will use to sell their delivery to me, so that they can receive the credits. Yeah. So how it works? We feel from our side. I will fill the first. I will submit the data contract. Then I will fill the projects. I will fill all of the projects that we are working on. I will fill the first tasks, and then people will be able to submit a claim document, which has a task ID. It also has amount of credits and amount of USD, but it will be it's not exactly the amount that is happening on the protocol level, but it's just an informative amount to keep track of. And the deliverable is the link like to the GitHub pull request, or I don't know, any kind of document that is served as approved work. So when when the developer creates a claim document, it fills all of the fields, and then I will be able to review it. Then like developer sets amount of credits that they want to get for this work, and then from my side I will initiate a document purchase method, which will buy out the claim from the developer account identity, and he will receive the amount of credits that he put the price for.
Yeah, this is obviously this is your DFO now. You're the leader there. Personally, my only feedback would be to completely dereference the USD amount and have it completely Dash native. There are issues. I've run into issues with having discrepancies between the credit amount and the price amount. So that's how Incubator's always worked. Is we do our accounting and all of our everything is just in Dash terms, and then there are periods.
Well, I just thought that it will be like a good note to have, just in case, how many
Yeah.
amount in USD it
Yeah,
took.
I mean, you can
to
always
define.
derive that information from the dates, right? So when somebody puts in a claim, there's a date on that, and you can look up with any resource the amount that.
We can put rate, for example, instead of USD.
Yeah. Anyway, that's your
Yeah.
decision to make.
Yeah.
But yeah, just
We will see. We will see.
feedback.
Yeah. So
Yeah, cool. Is this live on the network yet, or is it just?
not yet.
Yeah.
We won't deploy it until we have a way to claim those documents.
Yeah, withdrawals are needed, so that's coming out.
Also, yeah, and the withdrawals, not even withdrawals,
Oh, right,
we're
yeah,
missing the way to execute those transactions. So, yeah, I think that will take like 1 or 2 weeks at least.
yeah. Well, this is good though. I'm glad that you're jumping ahead with this because, like I've said in the past, we can't have nobody else is going to feel comfortable building anything useful or meaningful on platform until we have internal dependencies on it, so that people can see that we're actually using it in real life. So I'll continue to look at this, and I'll be doing something similar. I'll probably use your baseline to start a contract for myself for the incubator itself. So we'll both be kind of doing this same thing in parallel and doing our own little versions of it, but I think a lot of it will overlap. So it's good that you're leading the way on that. Anything else to say? We're almost an hour now, so if not, then we will close it out. But any last words?
I don't know. Nothing comes to my mind. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us on this week's Incubator Weekly, and we'll see everybody next week.
See you around.